On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player's subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves a match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DCKYWY. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867. Louisiana.
Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
So I am now speaking to Hounds Town, Michael Gould. What the hell is Hounds Town?
So, Cindy, first I got to tell you, it's quite an honor and privilege for me to be on your show. I began my police career in 1979 on the NYPD when you became associated, I think, with the interview with the Shah of Iran. Yep. Anyway, my world evolves around dogs. Hounds Town is a fully interactive pet care facility, which we have locations throughout the country. And we allow dogs to be dogs. They self-regulate. Humans don't control the dog's behavior. We allow the dogs to interact naturally in natural packs. So that's the essence of Hounds Town.
Okay, I don't know what the hell that means, and I just listened to you carefully. I have had a dog ever since I was born. In uterus, I had a dog. I loved my dog with the greatest respect, more than my husband. I now have a Yorkie. His name, because I live in New York and I work for the New York Post, his name is Jelly Bean. My dog has always gotten a J because my husband was Joey, my mother was Jessie. So my dogs always have a J. Go back now. When did you start training about dogs?
Right. So I was one of the founding members of the New York City Police Department K-9 unit that began when Page 6 began in around 1981. And from that point, it was a pilot program because crime was so rampant in New York City, as you probably remember. Crime, Central Park, muggings, robberies. Crime was at its height, 2,000 homicides a year. So Mayor Koch at the time decided to bring in dogs. And I was one of the first canine handlers to participate in that pilot program to try to reduce crime in New York City. And
did you have a dog? Did you yourself have a dog?
Oh, absolutely. So I had a German Shepherd, and we trained them for all types, looking for missing persons, tracking children. We worked predominantly in the park, Central Park, Flushing Meadow Park, Prospect Park. And they were a great asset in fighting crime. Crime reduction went way down as a result of the dogs, just their presence in the parks and so forth. But yes, I had my own dog.
How long does it take to train a dog?
Well, ironically, the training of a dog is longer than the human police academy. So it takes about 6 months to get a dog ready to participate and go out into the streets of New York. As a working dog, as a police canine, family pets, your dog Jelly can be trained. You train them organically as you grow up with them, as you live with them. They learn your rituals, you learn their rituals. But police dogs, it takes about 6 months of full-time training.
Well, as long as I'm not having to pay you, can you tell me why my dog is peeing everywhere?
Well, maybe she's got to go to the bathroom. I don't know.
She goes to the bathroom.
Right. So a lot of times, how old is she?
Well, she's 6.
Right. Well, a lot of times they're marking odor from other dogs, but, depending, obviously, on bladder control. But, yeah, so dogs, they're very unique. As you know, they're family members with a very unique personality, and they do. People ask me my relationship with dogs, and my love for dogs transcends that of human beings because your dog is authentic. Your dogs they're not racist, they're not homophobic, they're not sexist. They live in the moment of time. So dogs, including your dog, is kind of like who I want to be, right? We want to be as humans, as authentic as we possibly can. And dogs can't be anything other than authentic. They can't lie. They can't. They're not. They don't have the level of the human frailties, so to speak.
I think my dog might be smarter than most dogs, but he is a pain in the ass. He is a true, total, complete New York pain in the ass. Why did you get into this particularly?
Well, as I said, crime. I was a rookie cop in New York City. Crime was rampant, and I've always had a love for animals, as you do. And dogs are phenomenal. So they have attributes that are greater than humans. They can smell things that we can't see. They can detect odors that are invisible to the human's eyes. So they're actually, in many ways, kind of supernatural. They can run 20 miles an hour. They can scale 6-foot fences. As I said, they can detect odors, including cancer, that's invisible. And dogs can detect it better than any other technology. So it has been a fascinating career for me, and I work with dogs today, every day.
Michael, are some dogs smarter than other dogs?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think the answer is some dogs are more motivated than other dogs, just like people. So some people are motivated to do things. They have a work ethic. And I think some dogs are motivated greater than other dogs. Some dogs are couch potatoes. Some teenagers are couch potatoes. If you have a dog that's motivated by food or prey drive, then they can do things that are, as I said earlier, it's almost magical what they can do. I'm working with a dog now that's going to be looking for a missing person who went missing 25 years ago. And I'm going to be going upstate New York with a cadaver dog and looking for her remains upstate New York. She disappeared on 9/11 25 years ago. So what makes this dog exceptional is his drive, his desire to want to work. He's like a workaholic. I can't keep him settled down. So he doesn't make actually a good family pet. He needs to be out. So he's going to look for this woman that's disappeared literally 25 years ago on the anniversary of 9/11.
Okay, so what are the differences between training different breeds? Are you yelling at little tiny Yorkies like my pain in the ass the same way you yell at Great Danes?
Well, first of all, I never yell. I don't raise my voice. My training involves how we interact with a dog. So dogs don't speak English, obviously. They learn certain words. You might talk to your dog, obviously, tell her you love her and you pet her and so forth. But they're really responding to your movements and the boundaries that you set. And it's physical. So obviously dogs don't talk to one another. So at Hounds Town, we put dogs together in a pack. We would take your dog, Jelly, put her in a pack of small dogs, and let them do their own thing. They learn from sniffing each other's. They smell. They know everything about another dog by a simple smell of their genitals, frankly. So from the urine, the odor of urine from another dog tells your dog its age, its sex, its stress levels, its mating status, because they don't talk English. So they do everything primarily with their sense of smell.
My dog, I can only go by all the dogs I've had. The one I have now, Jellybean, is totally, completely antisocial. Possibly he came to us during the pandemic, and that started when he didn't have a lot of friends at the beginning. But he is antisocial. He only wants me and my housekeepers. He doesn't want to go out. He doesn't want to meet any other dog. He doesn't want to find any other dog. If he walks on the street and a dog comes up to him, he walks away. What is that?
Right. Well, it obviously tells us you're a loving pet owner, that's for sure. But beyond that, in real estate, we talk about location. With dog behavior, we talk about socialization. So as we know, dogs are maturing very rapidly, right? So Jellybean is maturing 7 times faster than we are. So what they experienced at a young age, particularly during COVID, that we have COVID dogs that weren't not properly socialized. They weren't socialized. So they become accustomed to living in a very domestic lifestyle, and they have no interest in other dogs. Sometimes that manifests itself in problem behavior. But socialization is key to raising a dog, a well-balanced dog, so to speak.
What does your training at Hounds Town cost?
There's various rates. Honestly, Cindy, I don't know the cost. It's different at all different locations. We have literally 100 locations throughout the United States, and we care for about 3,500 dogs every day of all shapes and sizes. We don't breed discriminate. We have dogs that are blind, three-legged dogs. The point is, it's a special place where we humans don't project our emotions on the dog, and we allow the dogs to interact with one another on their own.
What the hell
terms.
does that mean? It sounds great, but I don't know what it means. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about. So dogs are social pack animals. They were born, your dog Jelly Bean was born to maybe 6 or 7 other siblings. So they have a natural desire to interact with other dogs. They might not know it, but they have a natural desire to be around other dogs, just like most humans have a desire to be around humans. So we allow dogs to come to our locations, and we put them in a what we call a natural pack, a pack of dogs around the same age, size, and temperament, and we let them learn about each other as their natural instincts tell them. They were with 8 other dogs at one point in their lives when they were born. They were separated for a variety of reasons. So when we talk about we just let them be dogs, and that's for a day or 2 days or whatever. So it's very important. It's like taking a child to go play with other children. And you can take children, if you take a 3-year-old child, 4-year-old child, anywhere in the world, they'll interact with other children perfectly well. They don't have to speak the same language, but they'll play perfectly well if you allow them to. You allow them to interact with each other.
Okay, I am not taking my Yorkie to a college, okay? My Yorkie is dumb. He is not as smart as I am and almost not as smart as you. So how am I going to get him to know all of these things in my apartment?
Right. Well, you've already established your relationship with the dog, and it's perfectly fine. So the question is, if you're happy and she's happy, other than peeing all over your house, if you're both content, if you don't mind that part of it, that would be a little.
Well, I do mind that part. What good is talking to you when you can't help me with that part? So, it's very funny. But these stories and these situations, particularly in Manhattan, I'll tell you a quick story you might find amusing, you might not. So I get a call all the time from people with dog problems, and they're sometimes very, very odd, and they trigger my curiosity. So I had a woman that called me. She lived on 63rd Street, and she wanted to walk her dog, a little dog. It was a West Highland Terrier, actually, a little dog, and she wanted to walk it every morning into Central Park mid-afternoon. She called me up and she said, Mike, I take my dog to Central Park, but on some days she refuses to walk home with me. She does not want to go home with me. And I found that unusual. And really curiosity. I met the woman, I met the dog. And you know what the simple answer was? When the sun was coming up, this little West Highland Terrier was afraid to walk into her own shadow. So she was casting on a bright sunny day on 63rd Street. The sun rising casted a shadow that this little West Island Terrier was afraid to walk into because she saw herself. So once we realized what the issue was, so then what happened was, of course, the pet owner would pick her up and walk the dog home. And but it was something as simple as a dog not seeing his own shadow that prevented her from walking happily down 63rd Street. With the greatest respect to your intellect and great business attire, could you tell me how the hell you could tell how this dog could not know from the sun or whatever you're talking about? My damn dog won't do anything. And you're telling me this lousy little dog couldn't do it because of the sun's direction? I'm going to shoot myself after I shoot you.
No, don't do that. We don't have to resort to violence. The thing is this. We just don't know. Dogs are simple. They have simple minds. They don't have complicated thought processes. So they live in the moment, right? Your dog, Jelly Bean, doesn't know if it's going on vacation this year or you're traveling to Florida. They live absolutely in the moment. The only thing that changes is the environment. When the doorbell rings or a vacuum cleaner comes out, or people within your house are moving around, that's what triggers Jelly Bean to do something. It might not be anything, but she does something. So dogs are always telling us. It's not really intellectual. Your dogs are always telling you something. Every minute of the day, including when she pees on the carpet, she's telling you something about herself. So the question is, for me, is to diagnose what she's telling you. So I kind of translate to my customers what a dog is telling you. I had a dog similar to your situation in a way. She wasn't socialized with humans. I had a woman call me, and she embarrassingly said, Mike, I think my dog is a racist. And I said, what? You think your dog is a racist? She goes, yeah. Anytime somebody of color comes by, she growls and barks. I jokingly said to her, you might be a racist, but your dog's not a racist. It just has to be exposed to people with color, different colors, beards, hats, umbrellas. So it's never the dog. It's always a human interpretation, because we interpret things in human terms. We analyze dogs as we would other humans, whether it's shy, aggressive. But truthfully, dogs are very simple in comparison to human beings. And, there's an old joke. I hope I can share it with you. No, I better not. It has to do with why a dog does certain things. Why your dog pees on your carpet is because she can. So there's a crude joke associated with that, but I'll save that for another time.
Uncruded, and tell it to me by cleaning it up. Go ahead.
I'm going to clean it up. So the question is, why does my dog lick its genitals? And the answer is because she can. So that's as crude as I can be. So my point is, why does a dog perform a certain behavior? Is because it's allowed to. So your dog, Jelly Bean, what's the consequence of her peeing on your floor? You yell at her?
Yes.
Right, but she doesn't have any, that's just sound coming out of your mouth. So it's not, dogs bark at one another. So a human yelling at a dog is really not a consequence.
So it doesn't help if I holler at my tiny 7-pound dog, which should be 5 pounds. If I holler at it will help. I've been shrieking like I am at you, and it's done no good whatsoever.
Right. Because what would work with a human, you're yelling at a dog that doesn't understand anything you're yelling about. She could take your yelling as a sign of enforcement and continue to pee. So the point of the matter is, dogs bark at one another. So if it was just sound, so there's sound coming out of your mouth, you might consider it yelling. You could yell, you could curse. She doesn't really care if you curse at her. She doesn't know what the curse words mean. So it's an ineffective way of housebreaking your dog.
Okay, give me a story, another story of how you train somebody, because I'm trying to learn. I've only had a dog for 70 years, so it's about time I learned a little something. I'm a slow learner. So
it's always it's a good time to start. The old saying, you can always train an old dog to do new tricks. It doesn't matter age. So the answer is just understanding your dog a little bit better. So don't react to what you think the behaviors are. You have to relax. We set consistency, boundaries, and we just it's so simple. I'm going to tell you something, and you
just forgot the third one. I'm going to ask you for your help, and you forgot the third one. What's the third?
All right.
What good are you?
All right. I'm not happy that you picked up on that. I had a little senior moment. I'm sorry. But consistency, boundaries, is the third one. Now you threw me all off. Thanks a lot.
Oh, forget it. Right. I'm better off with the dog than I am with you. How long do you have to keep a dog?
What do you mean?
To teach the stupid thing.
It has first of all, it's not stupid. And it's not about the dog. It's about teaching humans. I guarantee you, I'll make this offer. I could come and see your dog in its environment, and I will have a different relationship with your dog than you have with it.
Are you going to charge me? That's the important thing. Are you going to charge me?
Cindy Adams, you're my idol. Are you crazy? I think that I'm having a dream right now that I'm even on the phone with you. So as I said, we've lived a parallel existence living in New York City. Maybe not. We haven't never met, but it was always an honor. And I think of you. I say to people, what journalist, what person ever in history has had a page number of a newspaper part of pop culture? It's never happened. So I put you on a high pedestal, believe me. So this is an honor. But of course I wouldn't charge you. I'd go to your house. I'd say hello. I wouldn't look, talk, or touch Jelly Bean. And Jelly Bean, we would develop a different relationship. And you'd be thinking that I was a magician. You'd look and say, how is this happening?
The one
That
thing I
guarantee.
have succeeded in, we have taught him never to pee on my column. We give him another page. That's what we do. But I am welcoming you whenever you can come here. I will give you a sandwich, a small one, a very small sandwich.
Yeah,
and
don't
I
eat
will
much.
let you see my dog. And if he loves you, good. But you can never have him because I love him more than anything else in the whole world.
Of course.
And I look forward to meeting you if you don't charge me.
Now, of course I wouldn't charge you. I have a charity. I do this work from the charitable part, the small charitable part of my heart. I do these things for free. But,
Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah. I do it all the time. I rescue dogs. I work with. You know why? Because I want to develop the quality of life that you should have with the dog. There should never be frustration. People and their dogs should be living in perfect harmony, literally perfect harmony. But sometimes because we don't know really how to communicate with them, we create a little anxiety. So when I do volunteer work through my charity, Hounds Town Charities, I do it for the benefit of the relationship a human has with their dog. Because obviously you would never get rid of your dog, but unfortunately people adopt dogs, particularly during COVID, and dogs didn't work out the way they wanted it to, and then they wanted to go. So the shelters were emptied out during COVID, and after COVID they were packed up as much as ever. So my interest is keeping people together with their dogs and making a cohesive relationship.
Okay, no worry. I will never get rid of my dog. You I may get rid of, but never my dog. I
Sound like
love
two of my
speaking to you.
ex-wives. All right.
I look forward to meeting you, sweetie, one day.
All right. Nice
Thank you.
talking to you.